Okay, so welcome to the weekly vlog where I just sort of cover off everything I've done in terms of running, all the activities I've done, the amount of trash I picked up. Just condenses it into one weekly vlog. So this is the week that we're on. Let's get started. So if I were to sum up this last week, then I think it was just a mixed bag. I kind of did, for the last God knows how many weeks, it's just been run, plog, and I've got these sort of activities and I'm doing everything. But last week was really different. I got cycling involved. I've got going to some schools, and I got doing some different kind of events I've never done before. So it's a real mixed bag. Anyway, let's get started. Well, we're actually going to start on Tuesday because Monday I didn't do any running. I was completely tired. So it's still a bit of the last sort of recovery days since the crazy challenge I did in May. And what I found is I sort of have these good days, bad days. It's really getting more and more consistent good days now, but you could see that it started off with a bad day. I could see that my body needed a rest day. So Monday I took a rest. So let's move on to Tuesday. In terms of running and plogging, that was in the morning. I had several meetings that I needed to go to, which were really productive. And in fact, one leads on to what happened on Sunday. I've always said as a rule, what I really want to do is if I can run somewhere, when I need to get somewhere, if I can run it, I want to run it. If I can't, then can I bike it? If I can't, then can I take public transport? And use the car as the last option. So this was a good example. If you look at the Strava profiles, going all over the shop and spending all day, I went from one meeting to another, but they were really productive, and hopefully some good things are going to be coming out of those. And of course, picking up trash as I went along. But the real thing I want to talk about is in the evening. So I got invited to the Avondvierdaagse. So what happens here, many of you will probably know, the Dutchies will know about it, but there's a 4-day march that is very famous in Nijmegen. And as a sort of an offshoot of that, what schools do is they do an evening 4-day march with kids from the primary school. So young kids, and they can either choose to walk 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. I got invited to join the one of the evenings in Waye, which is a bit of a bike ride. So first of all, had to bike there. It's a rule, it's on Strava, so whatever happens, if it's on Strava, I have to pick up at least one piece of trash, and that's exactly what I did on the bike ride. Both ways, picked up one piece of trash. Once I got there, then it was just meet the kids, and we went off. I think there was a group of around 20 kids, and we all sort of got separated into little different groups, but I stayed at the back and then just had a real fun time. I moved between a couple of groups, so let's have a look at that. I'm not going to show any of the kids, but yeah, this is so cool. So this is the Avondvierdaagse, but it's such a beautiful path. Having fun. This is pretty cool. So just waiting for the last group to come in. That was so much fun. It was just brought back all memories of doing it with my daughter. It's just awesome. Anyway, gonna just wait for them to come in and then cycle back, picking up one piece of trash, of course. So what a great event. Really enjoyed that. Completely different from anything I've been doing recently. Hopefully I can do more of these things. What you really see is the banana suit really connects with the kids. Wednesday. We've got one area that's literally just up the road from me that is a real problem area, and it's becoming, for me, one of the most embarrassing points in Haarlem, places in Haarlem. It's a relatively new sort of shopping area, and with residential above it. So there's a lot of residential apartments above it, but on the ground floor you've got supermarkets and that kind of shops. The trouble is they've got no bins, and the wind just blows it, and it blows it around the corner, and it just collects in this sort of this sort of grass verge, and it is a case of every couple of days it is just full of trash. So what you're seeing now is just all the trash that was there, and in fact in 2 days time you're going to see me doing it again. I really hope, I don't know how to be honest, I don't know how to handle this. For me it's a negative story, but I want it to be about positive stories. What I'd love to do is have the shop sponsor me or do something, but I feel like I've really got to draw attention to this, especially, and this is crazy, when the developers started building the place, they had bins installed. They've removed those bins. So those bins were first set up, and then before the place got opened, the bins got removed. Is that because of costs? I'd love to know the reason why they removed the bins that were next to the benches. Yeah, but whatever reason, it just sticks in the back of my throat as something that is, I just really feel uncomfortable about. So, yeah, if you've got an idea of how I could handle that, maybe leave a comment below. You know, is it okay to share these negative stories and say, look, I need to make a positive action about cleaning it up. Let's encourage the shops to make a positive action as well. Because really all it takes is for them to get together and say, right, before the shops open, we'll just take turns, and one person from the shop can just go there and do a quick cleanup. It will only take 10-15 minutes and the whole place is clean for the day. Just do that every day. That's the solution. If you don't want to have those bins, then do at least that. But something does need to happen. And then after that, went for a run. So once I got that all cleaned up, I went into town, went to RunX, the sponsors of me in the running shop there in town. We had a sort of a chat, and then, yeah, then I had to do some intervals. Man, my legs are dead. I really need to do speed work a couple of times a week, maybe even more than that, just to build it up. Get the leg turnover going, because it's such a problem. Afterwards, came back because I had a real big task ahead of me. So what you're seeing now is a great big tarpaulin that I bought, and I've got duct tape. And what I wanted to do is, I've got this stamp that I've created with a plogging banana on it that I use for kids' workshops. And I wanted to have that theme going through. Really, this sort of plogging banana becomes a theme for all the workshops that I do around the place. So that they've got the stamp, and they've also got the tarpaulin that we can use to do the final photos on. So I had a workshop on Thursday, so for the next day I had a workshop, and I just wanted to sort of, yeah, just create a great big sheet with the plogging banana on it, which means that when I do these workshops with kids, they can sort of put the trash on there. We can do something a little bit creative if we want to. If there's not much trash, we could maybe decorate the banana instead of just having bags of trash on there. So it really opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of engaging with the kids, but also for me, content that is on brand. I'm going to be completely honest about that, and I'm really pleased with the results. Which takes us on to Thursday, so school visit day. Didn't really get much running done at all today. I basically ran to the train station because it was a very long journey. So this was a competition that supporters from Scone got me involved in. So just one of the local, sort of the national organisation that looks after sort of trying to keep the sort of the Netherlands clean. So I had to go to Brabant, and let's just have a look at how that went. There's so much just staring through the window, just trying to work out what's going on. I'm taking the town, I'm just freaking them out. So I'm here. This is the place I am. I'm not even going to pronounce it. I'm here with a school workshop today, and it's in about half an hour that we do the workshop that starts. Luckily it's dry. It was pouring down with rain earlier. I hope it doesn't. The problem I'm going to have, and I can see already, is it is so clean here. So it'll be interesting to see how much trash we actually get, and if we can actually fill the banana with trash. Let's see. But that tells its own story, because I can sort of tell them about, okay, I come from a place where there's loads of trash. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, fingers crossed I can show you some footage. Okay, not going to be a problem finding trash. One of the biggest tips I can give people if you want to do a cleanup workshop with kids is just have a look around the place where you're going to be picking up so you know where to go instead of just wandering around aimlessly. Now the kids are going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun with it here. Okay, I don't know how the kids are managing to get this, but this is the beauty of a small village or town. Is what's happened is they've all been given by one restaurant a bag of crisps, and now they're queuing up for a free ice cream, just spontaneously gifted to them by the shop owners. Awesome. Perfect. But what a brilliant workshop that was. I think the easiest thing, I can't show many photos, but I can show you sort of the end result that I did on Instagram. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go! Moving on to Friday, starts off always with Harlem Hobblers. Just the social run group. I just love doing that on a Friday morning. It was rainy, it wasn't the best weather, and I wasn't feeling 100%. I was a little bit grumpy because I was a little bit tired, but it just really lifts me up just joining that group for a breakfast run and then coffee afterwards. I was so glad I did it, and I got rewarded at the end by finding €10 that a litter bug had dropped. Yes. And then we've got Friday evening, which I kind of screwed up. So Hamax, who gifted me the buggy that I needed for the 1,500 kilometre journey that I did in May, the social media manager was going to be nearby. It was a sort of 26 kilometre ride on the bike. And I thought, why not? It was really hot weather. And so I went off to just do a little bit of filming with them. I haven't really got much footage of that, but I screwed up. I screwed up so badly. So in the end, I sort of did around 50 kilometers of cycling, all without water. I just didn't take enough. I didn't hydrate. I was really exhausted by the end of it. That was a stupid move on my part, especially as it was so hot. Which moves us on to Saturday, back to that place that I'm really disappointed just up the road in Harlem. You know, picking up some trash there straight away. Again, so 2 days later it was just full of trash again, so I got another bag full there. Went on the train, got to Lelystad, and I didn't know who was going to be there. I knew Lelystad, I knew the people from there, but there was Judith from the cleanup couriers, who is an amazing person. So I've been following her for years, but we've never met each other in public. So we finally met and said hi. That was wonderful. Okay, so I'm here with Lelystad Scone because they've got a bit of a crazy 24 hours. What they've been doing is picking up trash for 24 hours. It's a marathon. Oh my word! Eindelijk! Eindelijk! Eindelijk!
Here! No way!
Oh, it is so cool!
I always wanted to meet you, and I was
And then moving on to Sunday, and this goes back to the Tuesday when I did that, had those meetings. One of the ones was with the Groene Lobby, which is a sponsor. Where are they? The Groene Lobby, which is a sponsor. and they said, look, we know that you need some money, we know that you're sort of struggling to finding the sponsors you want, but what you can do is, if you want to, is just earn a little bit of money, extra money, just joining in with the cleanups that we do. So for the summer period, what they've done is they're working with the Council of Amsterdam, so Amsterdam Gemeente, and then in the weekends, if it's nice weather, what they do is they go as a collective and they go to the parks and they do cleanups. And they're going around in sort of white Gemeente Amsterdam shirts, just picking up trash, talking to people, getting the community spirit going. And that's exactly what I did. I'm just going to show you sort of the same reels that I did on Instagram from it. And I'm going to be talking more about it because I've got another one in 2 weeks' time. So I'll talk more about it there. But there was a couple, what amazed me was I'm being paid to do this. I've got an Amsterdam council shirt on, but people were still thanking me. I just thought that was wonderful. I'm so used to it, running around in a banana suit, people say thank you. But even then, just with me picking up trash, clearly working for the council, they still said thank you. And I thought that was wonderful. But the highlight wasn't finding the step ladder, wasn't finding the suitcase, wasn't doing all of the huge amount of trash and tidying up the bins. That is a big problem in Amsterdam. The real highlight was speaking to one woman who came up to me and said, are you connected to the park? And I said what I was doing. And she said, well, because I've got something important. We've got this bear claw. I can't remember what it's called, but it's sort of poisonous plant. There's a couple of them here. And what you have to do is, as soon as you see them, you have to report them to the council, and because they have to remove them, really dig them up so they don't spread, because they can be sort of quite nasty. And she was like saying, yes, from there and everything, and yeah, what can we do? And I said, look, what I'll do is I'll go and find one of them so they can see there is one of them there at least, and then I can just reach out to the council. We can do it through the group app that we're in with the Groene Lobby, and we can get the council involved to come around and do a bit of a hunt to see if it really is that type, because sometimes, these big ones, you're not sure if they are the poisonous type or not. But either way, I went out and sort of managed to find one, which I was really glad about. That was a real highlight. That was sort of said, and that really illustrates basically the thing with plogging is picking up the trash is just the least of the things that I do. I'm doing other things as well. And that was a clear example of how you can work. It's a community connection. You're a steward for the environment around you, and that is trash, but it can be other things like this. That was a perfect example. I've got one in a couple of weeks, and I'll talk more about it and really sort of make it shine then as well, because it's such a wonderful event. That's it. That's my week done. I hope you found it interesting. Here are the final stats. Now it's a bit, I'm going to sort of go like this. There we go. So you can see that it wasn't just running that I did. I got running, I got walking, I got cycling involved in there. This is the amount of trash that I managed to clean up. So really productive. Let's just stop it there. My name is Paul. This is my way of life. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please like, share, follow, give it a like and give it a subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Speak to you next week.